Hi, welcome to the 7th episode of Wednesdays with Wa. Wednesdays with Wa. Okay, so technically this is the 7th episode, but also technically this is also kind of just like the 6th one. We skipped 1 week for our Sierra show, and we did a video where all of us read our favorite Sierra lines, our favorite lines from Sierra's pieces. So today we're going to be talking about finding inspiration. Inspiration, because you can't write without inspiration. Technically, I'm not actually sure how that works because I don't know. Anyway, okay. It's a pretty common saying that inspiration is everywhere, and that's true. But the thing with everywhere being everywhere is that it's everywhere. And how redundant is that? But it's everywhere in the sense that it's big, it's vast, it's around you. And it's Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Which ones he has to reach for and take a bite of before he gets kicked out, diba? There's always that rush that I have to write about something, but what am I going to write about? So hopefully this video helps narrow down everywhere a little bit, so that it's easier for you and me to figure out where else we can take our inspiration from. I am going to be sharing a lot about the places I take my own inspiration from, and it's probably not the most comprehensive list out there, but hopefully it does some good. Hopefully it can help then. In the second episode of Wednesdays with Wa, Juan Miguel talked about who got in spoken word. He says, when you write, lagi ka merong pinagkukunan. Lagi ka merong pinanggagalingan, lagi ka merong pinanghuhugutan. Because of that, you write about things that are important to you. So it only makes sense that the things you take your inspiration from are things that are important to you also, diba? And I think one of the things that builds us up as a person is our connection with other people. So the conversations we have with other people and the conversations we have with ourselves. You can use this in the sense that when you talk to other people, and even when you take the time to reflect by yourself, it opens up your mind to the different perspectives, to like a new view of the world, if you may. This is what discourse does. And what is inspiration but a different way with which we can see the world lang naman, diba? So following that, other things that can affect you as a person, then you can take your inspiration from. It may not be, it could mean the big things, like your political beliefs, your social political beliefs, your cultural beliefs, your, stand for good health laws in the Philippines, good health practices, your religious beliefs, things as big as that. But I think we are made up of the little things as much as we are made up of the big things. And the little things that can affect us are things like art. I know that sounds super cliche, but art can do that. Art does that because art is this big, wide umbrella term. Not just the kind of art per se, but how we perceive the art. Because, it's all about perception and how we use that to look at other things then. Could be visual art. You can look at paintings, multimedia art, videos. You can take them for inspiration on the kind of imagery you'd want to use a lot of times. Personally, based off of series. There's this American series I got into recently. It's called The Exorcist. So obviously it's based off of that old film and that old book. But yeah, they're turning that into a series, and it's pretty dark, and I think it provided a lot of good imagery, which helped me finish this One Piece. I've been meaning to write videos. So since we're on movies, we're on series, anime, and you can make use of those things not just because of their visual aspect, but also because of their storyline, the characters, how you relate to the characters. I like anime a lot, and manga, anime, things like that. Basically, I feel like I get a lot of who I am from that. And there's this one manga which got turned into an anime recently, but I think the manga is so much better. It's called Aku no Hana, which literally translates to the flowers of evil. And they have very good concepts on, I think they tackled growing up pretty well, anxiety, depression, unrequited love, feeling alone. But anyway, that's like really dark things. There's another anime, it's called Log Horizon, where they have a really good concept of rebirth, reincarnation, and these are things na I feel like these are things that I never really took the time to think of, and they would have never crossed my mind had I not seen them in that form first, had the idea not been suggested to me, which leads the writer, the perceiver, to create something off of that based on however you take that. What else? Literature. Literature can be seen everywhere. Songs. Hello, the Nobel Prize. So you have songs, you have, of course, books, you have even movies. There are a lot of good lines you can take from movies, you can take from songs as an inspiration on what to write. I did a collaboration with Serge Gabriel from Words Anonymous, where we wrote a piece based off of the song Milky by Sud. And we started the whole piece by quoting a line from the song. You can write based off of an entire song, based on the general theme of the song, or narrow it down to particular lines, like what we did. Basically, you use everything around you, and you use however you perceived them to be, how you took them for yourself, like how you felt, what you thought of when you saw that, or when you came across that particular piece of art or that particular work. For example, and as random as examples go, a painting of a girl, and then so something as simple as that, just a painting of a girl, and you can reflect upon yourself, like what you think she must be thinking, what she looks like she's thinking. So it's kind of going off on a limb there. And there's that. We were on literature before I went everywhere, but we were on literature, and I mentioned books. Did I mention books? I mentioned books, movies, songs. You could also use other pieces of poetry, other spoken word pieces, not exactly the lines, but maybe the themes or the particular approach, not in the sense that you take that for yourself, but it's more on, like, if you think it could have gone a different direction, your own take on things. But I think the danger with that is there's a very fine line between plagiarism and just using things as material, as like an inspiration for something, just because you're writing within a particular box. I don't want to label spoken word as a box, but for the sake of illustrating this, let's say that you're in a particular box and basically they're the same container. So the line with which to delineate them becomes a little bit blurred, and you have to take it upon yourself as a writer, as another artist, to one, respect that piece, that writer you're taking from, that writer you're using as material. Respect that person and respect yourself then as your own brand of writer, in the sense that you don't just leech off of something that they've written. So I think it's important to keep in mind that you have to bring something new onto the table then. And as much as that, I guess that kind of feels like putting a lot of pressure on you as a writer, I think you can also use it as motivation to always do something better than what already is. Basically, it's like a non-stop road towards improvement in general, like contributing more ideas or a new outlook on things, a new perspective on things, stuff like that. So, yeah. I hope that helped, and that it wasn't too all over the place, and that it encouraged you to keep writing or to start writing if you're just thinking of trying your hand at it. It can seem scary when you're taking that first step, but I don't think it's all that bad. And keep your mind open. I think that's the most important thing. Have an open mind to different ideas, discourse between yourself and other people, and to not judge things like other works of art too hastily. Okay, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Wednesdays Eva, and see you at next week's episode. Bye. Bye.